Bonjour, je m'appelle Kavinda Maddumage. J'étudie l'Université Sri Jayewardenpura. Today my topic is the Louvre. In France we call Musée the Louvre. The Louvre is the world's largest museum and houses one of the most impressive art collections in history. The magnificent Baroque style places and museum, Le Musée de Louvre in French, sites along the bank of the Seine River in Paris. It is one of the city's biggest tourist attraction. In France, we call the Seine River as a Seine River. In this slide, I added two couple of pictures. This picture shows ancient look of our museum. When we are going to talk about history of the Louvre, this is the more oldest of the three main wings in the Louvre Museum. There are three main wings. In this slide, I added one. The other two I added are the next couple of slides. During the French Revolution, the Louvre was transformed into a public museum. The museum opened on 10th August 1793. Transport Public Museum, as this Louvre Museum called as a public museum after the French Revolution is the most important thing. Then we talk about who built it and when was it built. The Louvre place, which housed the museum, was begun as a fortress by Philip Auguste. In France, we call Philip Auguste. In the 12th century, with remains of this building still visible in the crypt. It originally was built in 1024. The other person, Charles V, in French we call Charles V, he rebuilt that museum. The Louvre place was altered frequently throughout the Middle Ages. In the 4th century, Charles V, in French Charles V, converted the building into a residence. He converted that Louvre Museum as a residence. When we are going to talk about ancient building, we can't talk without the architectures. In French, we call architect. The first person is Pierre Lescot. In corner, we identify Pierre Lescot. In France, we call Pierre Lescot. In second person, Louis Lavaux. In France, we call Louis Lavaux. In third person is Charles Perret. In France, we call Charles Pihot. The Louvre in Paris called Pierre Lescot's notable works, and Louis Lavaux was an architect that helped develop the French classical style in 7th century. We talk about Louis Lavaux is famous classical style architect, and also Charles Pihot was a French architect best known for the participation in the design of the east facade of Louvre in Paris. Those three architects are the famous architects when we are going to identify the history of Louvre Museum. In this slide, we identify collections. We already know the museum has ancient history. So there are a lot of collections they have. The Musée de Louvre, on the other hand, in English, we can say Louvre Museum, contains more than 3 lakhs and 8,000 objects and displays 35,000 works of art in 8 curatorial departments. Explore the former palace of the King of France, now the largest museum in the world, covering almost 10,000 years of history. The palace is divided into 3 wings, Richelieu, Sully, and Denon. If you are planning to visit the Louvre Museum, it would be recommended to know about the different collection available for your viewing pleasure. We have done just that with this Louvre collection guide. In next slide, we can identify what are the 8 curatorial departments. In this slide, we identify 8 curatorial departments. Permanent collections, Egyptian antiquities, Near Eastern antiquities, Greek, Etruscan and Roman, prints and drawing, Islamic art, decorative arts, sculpture and painting are the 8 curatorial departments. In this slide, we can identify there are a lot of cultures here. Egyptian, Eastern, Greek, Roman are the different cultures. So we can identify every one can identify the differences between there are a lot of cultures. Louvre Museum is the best place for them. I'm not going to explain one by one, but I selected one. It's the painting. The Louvre Museum painting department is famous as the home of the Mona Lisa. In France, we call Mona Lisa. Just one of the 7,000 works on display. Monumental and emblematic works from Western culture are exhibited at the Louvre. This is the most popular part of the museum. The decision was made to show the works by school, French, Italian, German, English, Flemish, and Dutch. The collection also features Scandinavian works. There are a lot of arts, there are a lot of collections, in this museum, but I identify the one collection is art. The Louvre has a lot of famous art like the Mona Lisa. In France, we call Mona Lisa. Other one is Venus de Milo. In France, we call Venus de Milo. The Mona Lisa created by Leonardo da Vinci. In France, we call Leonardo Vinci. This is the most important thing. There are a lot of persons identify the Mona Lisa art, but they didn't have idea what are the relation between Mona Lisa and Louvre Museum. So I mentioned that photo in this slide. The Louvre pyramid in 1970, the Louvre struggled to hold it large amount of visitors. The Louvre pyramid was the solution of the problem. The idea was created by the French president of that time period. So the Louvre pyramid is the most tourist attraction place in this Louvre Museum. So in summary, I enjoy making this presentation while learning more about the Louvre Museum or Musée de Louvre. I did not even know that the printing of Mona Lisa is held in this museum. I also did not know that this appeared in the movie Edge of Tomorrow until I saw the unique essay to memorize shape of the pyramid building over the entrance. I was also surprised with some of the fun facts, such as that Napoleon once named it temporarily after himself, and how at first it was not built up museum, but as a fortress by Philip II. Thank you, Mazzy.